Hey guys, Johnny Nerd out here. Coming live, well, now I'm live from the Micromobility Conference. I don't even know if it's a conference, but show here in San Francisco 2023. Really cool. I'm glad I attended. There's a lot to digest, a lot of takeaways from this event. Got to see a lot of cool new products being released, a lot of e-bikes being brought out, a lot of old technology, I would say, that's just been rebranded stuff that comes out that is not very exciting, but then there's a lot of cool stuff that is coming out that is exciting. So you gotta get a good mix of stuff here. Got to hear a lot of, I would say, industry leaders from the New York Fire Department, you know, head of, to a lot of just people who are super into micromobility, micro EV, electric bikes, scooters, cars, motorcycles, things like that. So that was really cool to be a part of that and to hear people talk about that, get their perspectives. But it's, my one takeaway is just, you know, not everybody is like that. Most people are not into this stuff. When you get out into the real world, I'd say like 0.001%, and we're surrounded by people like that here, but in the real world, you know, most people are not nerds. They don't really care about all that stuff. They want convenience. Like, how convenient is that? That's why people get into their cars and their trucks to go drive to their job a mile away. They're not jumping on their electric bike or even a regular bike or whatever, because it's not convenient for them. So that's the next thing that's got to be addressed, is just convenience. That's what's going to push the needle and get most people into micro EVs or micro mobility, whatever it is, whether it's electronically powered or what, motor powered or not, doesn't matter. It's got to be convenient. There were some cool products here. I would say there was a company called Veer. They're making a 2-speed belt drive transmission, which is really cool. Really like what they're doing, and it's going to be, they said, priced under $300, and it could be used with any, well, at least the Bafangs and the CYC motors from the rep that I was talking to, which I think is awesome. There's a lot of people that really want to use belt drives because of their reliability. So that'll be really cool. And it was really cool how it worked too, just seeing it in motion, watching those gears spin. It was like hypnotic. It was really cool. I was really impressed more with the motorcycles here than the bicycles. There was a couple cool bikes here, but the motorcycles here, Land, that thing was awesome. Got to test ride one of those. They're $8,000, but the thing was so powerful. It was just fun. It was fun to ride. And the Rivid, I don't know how they pronounce it, but that one was also fun to ride as well. That was a little bit more expensive. That one was definitely more tech-based, adjustable seat height, things like that. It was pretty crazy. Tech-wise, it was much more advanced, and that one was about $9,000 starting. So it wasn't that much more of a price difference. You know, and then there were some legacy e-bike brands here, which, you know, for the most part, some of them were pretty cool. Some of them were actually pulling out some cool looking bikes, like even Voltaire. I saw some of their bikes. They looked pretty cool, very inconspicuous. But you know me, I'm a retrofit guy. I'm a custom conversion fit guy. It's still, every time I'm here, I'm just like, man, I need to get a booth here. I need to be representing the conversion market, because nobody here is. In fact, most people are they're bad-mouthing it. A lot of the speakers, a lot of talking about battery safety. That was a lot of speakers, like the New York Fire Department was talking about that. It got brought up many times by all the different speakers here over this 2-day event. And it is very important, and a lot of the people were talking about the Frankenstein bikes, and they're looking at the custom conversion people. And the whole time I'm like, oh, like people are probably looking at me. I'm wearing my Johnny Nerd Out custom e-bike shirt and stuff, and couldn't help but just, you know, wanted to speak up and be like, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people that are doing conversions that probably should not be doing conversions, that are just Frankensteining their bikes together, cobbling it together, not in a safe way, using poor batteries. I mean, I know I talk to people a lot. They'll buy the motor from me, but then they'll buy their battery off of Amazon or eBay or Alibaba because it's cheaper. And it's like, it's cheaper, but probably for a reason. And it's not always good to just buy the cheapest. The battery is the one thing that you should not cheap out on. And, you know, it just got really nailed home today, yesterday, between these 2-day events. Is just the battery safety is going to be the next thing. A lot of people are pushing for UL certification. You know, I'm kind of on the fence with that, because the UL certification does drive the price up a lot. it doesn't make the battery better. It just, you know, certifies that it's safe, but you know, you're talking sometimes a 20-30% increase in the battery price. So a $500 battery is now $700+ because it's got that sticker on it. So I don't know, but I agree, safety, especially battery safety. I don't want to burn my house down, and I don't want somebody else to burn their house down. So I don't know. I could definitely see the value in it, but I had mixed feelings on it. A lot of other people were pushing for regulation, a lot of regulation. I think a lot of people want people to get licensed and insured and things like that. And I know that's a hot topic, and a lot of people were really for it here. And I know there's a lot of people, especially people out there who are watching this, are probably not for it whatsoever. I got mixed feelings about that as well. I see the good, and I also see the bad on, you know, Big Brother getting mixed into stuff, regulating things. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of comments on that, but you know, good or bad, regulation is good and bad. There was a lot of booths set up here based on technology and software, which was kind of interesting. I'd say almost 30% of the booths here were almost technology based and tracking. And I do think that there's going to be a bigger need for that device tracking. You know, you got a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 e-bike, e-scooter, e-motorcycle, whatever it is. You know, if it gets stolen, you want it back, and you want to be able to track it. And so I definitely think that's going to be a big innovative segment of this industry as well. Right now, you know, there's cheap ways to do it. You could use your air tags, which is, you know, what I use personally. I think it's a great way, but it's probably not the best, but I'd say it's probably the best value right now. It's $25 for a tracker, and there's no subscription. Just replace the battery when it dies. But I could definitely see the value in paying a little bit more for a subscription that does more, maybe lasts longer, and just does a little bit more. Get your bike back. You know, essentially at the end of the day, that's what you want. You know, but just touching back on it, you know, nobody was really talking about retrofitting, and you know, everybody here is always talking about being environmentally friendly and being, you know, congestion based and stuff. And to me, retrofitting is the absolute best way to go. There's the absolute least amount of resources cost. I don't know how to word that. Resources cost, that doesn't sound right. But, you know, you're taking an existing bike, retrofitting it, and making it the absolute best bike for the least amount of money, and you're using the least amount of resources. So I still think it's so weird. I feel like it's the elephant in the room that nobody's talking about. And I think a lot of people, they've seen one or two bikes that were cobbled together by some people, and they just assume that that's how they all are, which is really a shame. That's my takeaway. And so I want to push everybody out there, if you're building your own e-bikes, make them safe, make them look good, because all it takes is one guy out there with one cobbled together e-bike with wires wrapped around your seat post, and one person sees it and they're like, ugh, it looks like junk, and that's how they think everybody's like that, and it's not. So let's call to arms. Let's take pride in our ride and make them look nice. Show people like, yo, you should be building your own bike too. Yeah, there was another shout out. There's another Sartis was a really cool. I got to ride in one of their a small electric vehicles. Looked like a little Micromobility, but that one was cool. I would say for convenience, that one was probably the closest one that I saw here at this thing that was convenient, that most people would. However, it didn't look cool. I will say it didn't look super cool. We need Ryan Gosling, somebody cool to ride around in a Nerdmobile to make it cool. So Ryan Gosling, if you're watching this video, which you probably are, you should ride around in like a Sartis. I don't know how you pronounce it. The Nerdmobile, make it cool. Anyways, all right, guys. Coming live from the Micromobility 2023 convention in San Francisco, Johnny Nerd out. Signing off. Let's go take a look at some people riding around on some stuff.
Just got that right.